And we're live.
We are live. Excellent. All right. Shall we begin?
I think we shall.
Hello and welcome to Slamfire Radio, episode 324 for October 3rd, 2019. I am one of your hosts, Trevor the
Uh,
Furlonga.
I'm Adriel, the
Wow.
Frosty.
Somebody's in a hurry, Frosty.
I'm
Slow your
like,
roll.
I'm ready.
Freeze it.
Yeah.
You're ready.
Whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, stand by. Stand by. I heard the beep. It was in my head.
You did. You
Yeah.
did. But you flinched. No, you creeped. You were creeping. You
Uh,
anticipated the beep. Yeah.
what is it called
So,
when you fall forward a couple of times? Or when your hand goes to the gun?
creeping.
Creeping?
Call it
Okay.
creeping. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you can
I am
stop
a
the guy,
creeper. Yep.
you are.
hmm
And I don't just mean on social media lady accounts. Speaking of ladies, the lovely Kelly is running late, so she hopefully will join us in a little while. And Dave is suffering from audio issues and is right off the call now. So anyway, for now, you're stuck with Frosty and Latte. We're sorry. Let's jump into what we did this week in guns, which is brought to us by the Calgary Shooting Center, Canada's premier firearms retailer. So this week they have their schedule out of upcoming classes. The dates for these classes are October 5th and 6th, so that's right around the corner, as in this weekend. They have Dynamic Pistol 2. In order to take Dynamic Pistol 2, you have to have Dynamic Pistol 1. And then there is Dynamic Carbine 1 and Dynamic Pistol 1. So the 5th and 6th, Dynamic Pistol 2. So if you got the 1, sign up for the 2. November 2nd and 3rd is Dynamic Carbine 1, no prerequisite. December 7th and 8th is Dynamic Pistol 1. So if you would like to sign up for these or get more information, you can go to www.theshootingcenter.com/training/overview or stop by the store in person or call 1-403-451-1777. You could also send an email to info@theshootingcenter.com to get all kinds of information about their upcoming classes. Adriel,
Yes.
what have you been up to in guns?
Not a lot. I did that Ladies' Day. Man, we got
Were you tired?
way more people than I thought that we would. So like, you
This
remember from the last show, I was saying like, yeah, it's going to be like 0. I think we're going to get like 30 people out of the 60.
and
No, we got like 60.
this always seems to be the case with ladies' days. The women are hungry for their firearms. They want to get after it. Time and time again, it's expected to be low numbers, and it's almost double.
Yeah, it's. I thought for sure the cold would keep them away, but nope, they just bundled up, just trucked
Yeah.
through. Yep,
Yeah.
it was good. It was
Yeah.
a really good event. So like the guys from the club really did some fantastic organization. We had some really great prizes, great food at lunch. Like it all ran really smoothly. We had like a little bit of bunching up in some of the different stations. Just people had to line up for a little while, but other than that, ran really well.
Nice.
We got them on a shotgun station, shooting some like 3-gun props, like a Texas Star and some clay poppers that fall down, and then a clay flipper flips a clay up into the air with 12 and 20 gauge.
You had stuff like that for them to do?
Yeah. Yep.
That's crazy.
We had rimfire rifle, standing, sitting, kneeling, whatever they're comfortable with, really, with like 10.22s and 7.95s and whatnot. We had a pistol bay. We had action rifle with ARs or M1 Garands, or I think we even had an SKS out there too. And then we had precision rifle with like a precision rifle in 6.5 Creedmoor, and they were shooting that up to 500 and 800 meters, I believe. So if they got bored with 500, they could shoot it out to 8. And
You guys
a couple
do
of them did it.
Day. You guys do a ladies' day like I've never seen.
It was, I don't want to say it, but I think it was like a little bit better than our open house. Like we have a range open house once a year, and we do a similar thing. We had like fewer stations this time, but they were really nice, and the lunch was really good, and like all the organization was just like a step up from our open day. So it was really nice, and hearing them hit the 800 was really interesting because you could hear like the hit and the shot at such a different interval. It was really interesting, and it was so far away you could still hear the ringing of the steel. So yeah, it was all good. It had lots
I'm
of
jealous.
lots of
What was
ladies out.
What was the age? Did you like what was the youngest lady? What was the oldest lady? What kind of
Oh,
spread did
we
you have here?
had anywhere from like 8 to, I don't know, old. I didn't ask their
Eight
ages.
to
I
old.
hear that that's
Apparently,
that's
that's
a
a
no go.
thing. You're right. You're not supposed to. And now they've got a gun in their hand, right? So you
Mm,
don't want to ask a lady
yeah.
how old they
Yeah.
are when
By the
they're
way, I'm
armed.
just curious. I think you're the oldest lady here. How old are you? Yeah, I don't think.
Wham!
I don't know how that would go. Probably not well.
That's
Yeah, so
funny.
that was interesting and yeah, really encouraging. Oh, and the nice part too, we were done by like 3, so I was like, oh, I get to go home and eat at home. Weird. This never happens on range day.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then I got I reached out to this company and I'm like, hey, I need a first aid kit. Can you like send me one for free and I'll review it on my website or something like that? And they're like, yeah, yeah, let's do that. So so I got one. Uh, I had like a scratch and dent before, but like I took that stop the bleed course with you and Kelly and the other guys from Ragnarok there, and I looked through this thing and I'm like, what could I use if someone was bleeding to death? And nothing really, nothing is of any value in this thing. I don't think I would. I'm not saving any lives with this thing. I would save
Really?
someone's day if they were like if they had like a bee bite or
Oh
they had a little
man.
boo
Well,
boo
it's
or
just
something like that.
scratch and
Fantastic.
dent. It's not
Fantastic.
what Gavin taught us to put together.
Correct. Yeah. So I asked these guys for like a basic kit, not their. They have a fancier one. This comes with a tourniquet, nicer package, like a tourniquet, some gloves, some other I don't know, gauze and whatnot. And this is a better kit. Like keep in mind our 3-gun, we've got trauma kits with all of our admin bags. Anyways, this is more of a I need one kind of a thing because I want to have one available on hand kind of a thing. So yeah, it's convenient. So I don't know. I think there was a couple of interesting things in here. One of them, have you ever heard of splinter outs? No, you're on mute there, Trevor. I can't hear you.
Yeah, aren't they kind of like a tweezer type configuration
Yeah,
thing?
I'm gonna open one up on video here. And sorry for everyone because the my video is mirror imaged here and you can't see what the heck I'm doing. But there's like a little metal guy in there. It's like a super sharp point on this thing, and you
Ooh,
basically because it's so super sharp, you can pick away at the skin around a sliver and open it up and then get that sliver and pull it out because it's such a sharp little pick and it's in like a little sterile package. I guess you see they're cheap, like $5-10 kind of a thing. You get like 10 of them,
wow.
and you just like chuck them in an outdoorsman's kit or something like that. There's a couple things in here where it's like, whoa, I got to Google this before before I do my review because I don't know what the hell this is for.
I
Like,
noticed.
what is this? I know I had to Google it. I now know.
Is that for a sucking chest wound? Is that what
No,
you tape on the side? No.
no, it's a smooth fabric, very nice and smooth. I did not know what this is. I'm like, what the hell is this? It's moleskin if you get a blister. So if you get a blister in your boot, you stick this inside your boot where the blister was, and it's nice and soft, and it'll make it nice for your blister, or you won't get blistered.
Truly a scratch and dent kit.
No, no, no. This thing also has like more hardcore stuff.
Okay.
Wait. Yeah, tourniquet. There's the sucking chest wound guys there.
There.
Yeah. And it's like it came with 2 of them, and at first I was like, why? Why do you need 2 of them? The
All
bullets
kinds
go.
of reasons.
The bullets go
Yeah.
through. Yeah.
Through
Yeah.
and through.
Yeah, you get the front and the back.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, yeah. I
In
guess
and
you would
out.
need 2 of those.
Well, I mean, one is none. What if you mess one up?
Yeah, or what if you get like multiple puncture wounds or something like that?
Multiple
This is
casualties.
this is the one where it's like, oh my god, like yeah, someone gets hit in the chest. It's like they got minutes, right? And it's all over. So this is the one where I was really looking forward to having one on me because I don't want to go out that way. It's got like a bunch
Right.
of other stuff in here. Anyways, cool kit. Do you have like a trauma kit?
What I have is other Trevor is a professional paramedic. That's what he does for a career. And I asked him to build a trauma bag for the pistol section to take to matches with us. So that resides in my truck.
Ah, okay. So
I don't
you've got your own med kit and paramedic.
Right.
We've got some paramedics that go to our 3 gun matches, which is very handy. But the idea with something like this is, maybe you're out in the middle of nowhere and you got to do it yourself, kind of a thing. So
Yeah, exactly.
very good. And that's kind of it. I've got a 3 gun match coming up that I'm preparing for. Um, Season's starting to wind down. It's cold out. We're gonna keep going till December if we can. Uh, and that's about it for me. What about you, Trevor?
Busy week again. Me and the Losers Club, we went to a two-gun shoot for, it was a two-gun Wounded Warrior fundraiser shoot at the Hampton Club. It was put on by Christian Sony down there, who was a vet, and he did a fantastic job. It was pistol rifle, not unlike the everything but air match we were at the week before. But this time, because again, it was open to non-black badgers, it was a fundraiser. So the whole idea was to get as much participation as possible. So it was open up to everybody. I got to stop myself right here and tell you I saw the coolest thing, Adriel.
Uh-huh.
I saw a 17 HMR knocking down IPSC poppers at 75 meters.
I wouldn't think that a 17 had the power to do that.
You would not be alone in thinking that. I don't think anyone would ever expect a 17 HMR to knock over a piece of steel at 17 yards. I know
Because
this means a piece of steel.
What's the energy on a 17 HMR? It's not that much.
No, of course not. But it is pretty, nasty. But geez, it was actually knocking over poppers. Blew my mind. Anyway, back to the match. There
250 foot-pounds of energy. That's
really
with a 17 or 20 grainer. 245 otherwise. What's a 9 mil have for power?
Dude was shooting a 17 or a Savage
400.
A17, just like mine.
Yep.
Had the 25 round mag on it, and he was having a blast.
Oh, you know what? The energy difference is not as extreme as I thought it would be. Regular 9 millimeters, 260 foot-pounds. So 250 versus 360, tomato. Huh.
Yeah.
I learned something.
Yeah, and like Jeremy said, they were set very, very light, and they were forward falling, which is always better. But regardless, man, to have them knocked over like that, yeah. Jeremy actually, who was on the chat right now, was in my squad. We had an awesome squad. It was a fun day. Unlike the EBR match, there was no movement in this match. You always shot everything from behind a table.
Mm.
Pistol and rifle or PCC and rifle. So I did PCC and rifle. I brought down my STI AR, this one right here. So I brought this down for my godson to play with, because this time Ben was with us and Ben needed a rifle. So I brought him my WK, and I, of course, used my SLR, which we'll see here in a minute when I talk about what I did to it this week. I made some changes to it. So I finished second out of the entire field behind George Mackillop. George Mackillop is, he is, I don't know if I want to, I got a joke that I tell about George, but it's so dark that I don't know if it's appropriate. But we've told some pretty dark jokes on here. Anyway, George is a soldier who has he had a very full and accomplished career, and he's been an action shooter probably well over 20 years, and he's one of the best shooters that we have. I don't think I've ever beaten him in any match anywhere at any time with any kind of gun. So this was, of course, no different. Our times were very similar. He was a little bit faster, but I had 4 mics. He had 2 mics. Then there was another dude who was like 15 seconds. So last time our matches were like 500 some seconds, right, Adriel? You remember that? This time our times were in the 250, 260 range.
250, 260 is reasonable. How many people did you have out there?
Well, that's the thing. We had 40 people.
Mm.
We didn't leave the range till 7 p.m. And there was still a squad shooting, and there was only 7 stages.
How was the 7 stages? How many bays? 7 bays?
No, we had 1 bay with 2 stages for sure. and then one bay with 3 stages.
That's what slowed you down. If you
Mm,
could you shoot all three concurrently or no?
yes, we did have the
Okay.
option to shoot
Yeah.
those 3 hot. Yep,
Yeah.
we did. None of us chose to, but we did. So, um,
No, I mean like were the bays oriented in such a way that multiple
oh
shooters could
yeah,
be shooting at one
yes.
time or no?
Well, in most of the bays, there was only one stage. It was one shooter at a time. The stage that had 3 bays, or
Mm-hmm.
sorry, the bay that had 3 stages, you could not shoot multiple shooters because they were all shot from the same box. It's like
Ah,
face
yeah.
this way, shoot these targets. That's the stage. Face this way, shoot these targets. That's the stage. Shift yourself to the right, shoot these targets. That's the
Mm-hmm.
stage. So, but a lot of fun. Different animal than EB AR, but still a lot of fun. And 40 people, $30 a person. 100% of the proceeds went to Wounded Warriors. The
Sweet.
winner, yeah, the winner was given a tax receipt. The donation was made in the winner's name, so they got a tax receipt. That was your prize,
Whoa. That is
right?
super interesting. I like
It,
that. Oh, I like
me,
that so much.
me too. Yep, that was pretty
Ah,
brilliant.
thanks for donating. Here's your receipt. Go
Yep,
claim it on taxes. Ah,
yep,
you win the money and the charity gets the money. Beautiful.
yep,
Beautiful.
yep, yep. It is just a fabulous idea. And then, so it was another busy weekend, right? Um, did I pick Gallon up somewhere along the way this time? I can't remember. Yeah, I think that's what I did. Yeah, I drove to, yeah, I picked Gallon up in Salisbury. He got dropped off at Salisbury. I picked him up. We drove to, yeah, that's what we did. I left stupid early in the morning. I left at 5 a.m. I got up at 5 a.m. I left at 5:30 for Hampton. I picked Gallon up along the way. We drove into Hampton, shot that match. We didn't get out of there till 7 o'clock in the evening. Drove to the Miramichi, got a hotel room. Gallon and I split a king suite. God help me. I booked the room on Expedia. Not, I did it on my phone, and I booked a king suite as opposed to two doubles.
Two
But it was
doubles.
like
Yeah.
Expedia, last minute, take it or leave it, no refund, get it for $80. So I get there, and I go to. I'm hungry. I'm hangry. I'm all the hangry. I'm tired. Right. We didn't leave Hampton until 7. So you go to the front desk. First thing they ask you, do you have a reservation? What's your last name? So I walk up to the front desk and I just looked at the guy and said, Furlot, do you have a reservation? Yes. What's your last name? Oh God, Gallon, hold me back. Furlot. All right, I've got you in a king suite. I'm like, all right. I'm like, hold it a second. No, no, I booked a room with 2 beds. No, you booked a room. You booked a king suite. I'm like, second. So I checked my phone. Yep, you're right. I did book a room with a king bed. Do you have a room with 2 beds? Your room has a king, sir. Okay. Don't
You
tell
have
me
your room has a
anymore.
king, and your companion is very fetching.
Well, right now that this is the point where Gallon looks at him and goes, "Dude, we are not a couple. Don't tell me one more time that the room has a king. Tell me this. Do you have a room with 2 beds? Your room has a king. All right, that's it. Give me the keys." Gallon. So anyway, we walk in. There's a sofa bed there. So Gallon took the sofa bed, and then
Oh
I
yeah.
locked myself in the bedroom for the night with the king bed. So it was all right. And the reason why we did that is because the next morning we had no, not the next morning. The next shoot wasn't until 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and it was an outlaw rimfire precision. So I got to do something that I haven't done in 6 months. I slept in. I didn't even turn
Mm,
on an alarm clock. I slept until like 9 a.m. I couldn't believe it. The day was half over. It was amazing.
fancy.
Anyway, so as Gallon likes to say, we went for their medals and their women, and we took almost all the medals. So the rest of the boys from Restigouche that have been shooting ORPS with us, they rolled down. So Denis and Joey, our match directors from Restigouche, came down, and they
Mm-hmm.
brought Alex C. And we're gonna break this guy's thumbs. Dude, he's a machine. So my first match, I shot like a 190, right? I got a new optic. I went out. Then I shot a 340, and that was like the high score around we could find for this part of the country anyway, for that particular match for the month of September.
Mm-hmm.
340, big number.
Yep.
We get down there and it's blowing like hell. Plus, I'm trying to take in how they're doing things. Some of it's different than the way we do things, and you know how I like change. But I'm just like roll with it, see how it works, and take the best and leave the rest kind of thing. If you can steal a good idea for your own shoots at home, do it. They did one thing very very different. We assign a range officer per squad
Yep.
who reads the stage description and runs the shooter. They had one range officer at the back of the range running everybody simultaneously.
Odd.
It was up to each other to clear each other's guns.
Mm-hmm.
No one read the stage descriptions. There was reshoots because of that. Um, I mean that's on like I caused a reshoot by not reading something correctly. There was another reshoot with the squad next to us because the stage was set up not exactly like the drawing and they were shooting it in the wrong order or the wrong time or something.
Mm.
So the irony is we reshot and we both got the exact same score. Gallon had to reshoot too, and he actually went down 10 points. So that's really too bad. Um, they paint after every shooter, which we're gonna start doing. It makes it a lot easier.
Oh, it slows things down so much.
Not so much. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
You got to stop after every shooter and go down to 100 meters and paint targets.
Yep, we did it after every shooter.
Ugh. That you could do that if you don't have very many people.
Well, we had the entire line full going simultaneously,
Yeah.
so it's not like you know. So I mean, that worked. Um, what else? I got. Oh yeah. So Alexi, Alexi is in production. So I had shot that 340 last time, and we get down there and it's super windy. I'm like, this sucks. No one's going to lay down any good numbers today. Like it's stupid, stupid windy. So not only did I like not shoot a 340, I don't even know if I broke 300. Alex shot a 370. Like when I shot my 340, it was pretty much perfect conditions. He gets down there and shoots a 370 in the wind. Like he
What's perfect score?
um, every stage is 100 points. So
500.
yeah, I guess so.
Hmm.
Um, I think every stage is 100 points because you shoot 10 rounds and it's 10 points per hit. So I'm mathing out at 500. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, just gross, man, that he could shoot a 370 to begin with and shoot a 370 in that wind just blows my mind. And his optic isn't fit to use. Like if you look through it, you think you got glaucoma. So
What
good
kind
on
was it?
him. I don't even know. I think it was a Bushnell. Joey was telling me about it. It's pretty bad. So
100 meters,
anyway,
right? It's all technique.
oh yeah. He's obviously not a trigger puncher. So, and then this week after that, I ordered an IBI barrel for my modern sporter build. I finally decided to go with a 7.62 by 40 WT. I was going to make an,
Whoa.
yeah, I'm doing it.
What a
I'm
day.
finally, I'm finally doing it. So, I'll have a 223 non-restricted gun.
I think we lost Trevor.
Just
Trevor, I lost you for about 20 seconds there.
oh yeah, how about
Yep.
now?
Yep. Good now.
All right, I was just saying that the computer wants to do some updates or whatever. I was just saying that the ballistics on the 7.62 by 40 WT is similar to the 6.8 SPC. So some people may be familiar with those ballistics. Also, if the listeners don't know what the 7.62 by 40 WT is, I often use the analogy of you know how you got a 38 special and a 357 Magnum, right? Same bullet, same round of ammunition. Only the 357 Magnum is just longer and has more case capacity. So if you take a 300 blackout and you compare it to a 7.62 by 40 WT, same idea. It's basically the same round of ammunition, only longer with more case capacity. Same kind of bullets. Typically, unless you're trying to go subsonic and suppress it, you're shooting between 110 and 125 grain through 8 bullets out of it. So that's been ordered from from IBI, and that should arrive probably at the same time that the rifle actually arrives. They're a little behind, I think. So, but I know I'll have mine soon. It'll just be a matter of a couple of weeks probably. At the shop, I've been working on a Stevens bolt action 410, doing a refinishing job on that. not a well-made quality firearm. Let me just say that. And then, and speak of the devil, he's here, but he's standing by waiting for our main topic. Wes sent me 2 of these. Check that bad boy out. What I have here is a 3D printed magwell for an FX9. So it's not something that's commercially available yet. You can't buy a magwell for the FX9. You really need a magwell for your FX9, especially if you reload like I do. So he sent me 2 of these bad boys, and he's got his secured with silicone, but there's some holes in there that I think I'm going to try and lock it to the receiver with some set screws. So I would show you what it looks like on the gun, but the gun is traveling with me this weekend for a match. My godson will be running his first PCC match this weekend. So when the show is done, I'm going to go lock that down before I forget. So also, I did some scope ring swapping. So check this out, Adriel. You remember my Stag 10 had the ultra high ATRS rings on it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, those are going to get replaced with just highs, and those are going to actually go on the Modern Sporter with this scope. This scope is a Vortex Viper HST. It's 4 to 16 by 44. That's going to go on the onto the Modern Sporter. What's going on this is a Vortex Viper PST Gen 2. So once that's paid off and comes home, it'll live on this, and this scope will go onto the Modern Sporter. But note the rings I put on this. These are those baller $200 Vortex rings in high.
Very
So
fancy.
very fancy, and look at how much lower the scope is to the gun now. It
Yep.
much more gooder fit.
Which you like, right?
So yeah, exactly. It's but still not ridiculously low. Like if I showed you my WK with the Strike Eagle on it. The other thing I did was I had bought this from Jeff at the Calgary Shooting Center. If you don't shop there, you're communist. It's a loophole Mark AR, but this one actually has a little red dot in the center of the duplex reticle, and it's way lighter than the Vortex I had on there, which I don't know where it got. Oh yeah, here you go. So look at the size difference here between this loophole and this Vortex. Like,
Yep.
so taking that Vortex off, and I removed the Phase 5 full auto bolt carrier group and went with a lightweight machined skeletonized bolt carrier group. I think I've managed to squeeze almost another pound off of my WK. Super lightweight. I love it. If I might even consider putting a carbon fiber handguard on there just to bring it down even lighter. So
the cost on those things. They're way too expensive.
$500, man. Faxon makes one, and it's easily $500.
Yeah.
And how much weight are you really saving? I don't know, but it's cool. And then I went to the archery club last night. This is kind of sad. The archery club where I got my start in archery, the building's being torn down, and the club has to relocate to a gym, which is just awful. This club, the cool part about this club, like I've shot there on Christmas morning. It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. What did you drop, man? I'm trying to talk to you, and you're just like going around looking for stuff.
I got it. I'm trying to mount that Ambi mag catch on this thing to see if it's.
There can only be one ADD host who tries to do stuff while podcasting.
Oh, look at that. Got my hang-ups up for no particular reason. Get that out of the way.
So,
I'm still listening to you.
Yeah,
I'm still here.
I'm just whining. Come on. It's what Maritimers do. We want to spend your money. Yeah, so I went to the club last night, probably for the last time. I had to get Haley Daniels. We've had her on.
Yes.
I've never been on when she's been on, but anyway, she runs the Ontario Archery Supply with her husband in Ontario, and also makes strings and cables. So she made me a set of strings and cables for my hunting bow, almost 2 years ago. I finally got off my butt, drove to Bathurst last night to install them, and then tuned the bow and sight it in, because hopefully I'll be going deer hunting soon. So it's nice to get that thing up and running. That's it for me. Why don't we do this? Since our guest is here, why don't we get him to join us? He can roll with us as a co-host for the rest of the show. Tell us what he did. What do you think? Yeah? All right, Wesley.
He's kind of an unsavory guy, but I guess if you insist.
As long as he hasn't had too many loco... What were those things called again?
Four locos?
Four locos, yeah. As long as he hasn't too many four locos into him, he's all right. So, are you
Yeah, that
sober?
I am sober
Oh, that's too bad, but
tonight
we'll
so
roll
far.
with it anyway. All right,
You guys
Wesley.
hear me okay?
It's a little
Well,
bit.
your audio's been better, but it's been worse, so we'll live with it.
Okay.
Welcome back to the show. You're here to join us for the main topic, but for now, why don't you tell everyone what you've been up to this week in guns?
Well, what I've been up to this week in guns, not too much. I dry fired a couple days this week after work. We had a USPSA style match last Sunday, which I won.
Nice.
I shot PCC, or no, I beat the PCCs with a production gun with a Glock 17, so that's always nice.
Yeah, you're way better pistol shooter than I gave you credit for. Somewhere along the way, you got really good. Like you finished higher in SummerSlam with your Glock 17 than I did with my classic gun, if I remember correctly.
I did, and what I consider a bad match. I was shooting my Glock 17 like I would a PCC, two quick makeup shots on a swinger or something. It doesn't work with a pistol like it does with a rifle. So
Nope.
so I had a lot of mics and stuff in nationals, but I stand by my performance. That's kind of where I'm at with that platform anyway. So
Well, some people can shoot a Glock, and yeah, you're getting it done.
I just like how they fit my hands. I know there's guns out there with more weight and all that kind of stuff. They're just like an extension of my arm. So I've been shooting them for so long, I'm broken. If I pick up anything else, it's weird.
uh,
So other than that, some dry fire, some reloading, nothing too special, nothing too crazy. My next match probably isn't until middle October, so just gonna keep practicing up for that.
nice.
And I don't know whether it's gonna be allowing PCC or not, so I have to practice for both.
Man, like it shouldn't be something that we ever have to question. I don't know if PCC will be offered. Just it
Well, I'm
makes
just
Is
gonna
it
start.
popular though? Like, is it popular enough to where it's like, we gotta offer PCC because there's so many shooters.
Yeah, it's not here yet, that's for sure, but they're offering it anyway.
It's not super popular here too. I mean, we might get 4 or 5 shooters a match, but there's definitely some shooters that only come out to shoot that. Like we have some
Right? That's
shooters
Gallon.
that are,
Gallon's
yeah,
only back in IPSC because PCC.
yeah. And when we got some strong three gunners here in Saskatchewan, I think Jimmy Hunter is one of them.
Yep.
He only comes out really for shooting PCC at IPSC matches. So it's just a way to um, get 1 or 2 more competitors. I just who wants to turn down match fees? I think we should be taking them as we can.
Yep.
So it is what it is. It's the indoor season, so they're kind of unwieldy around tight indoor stages. So it's
Yeah.
going to be up to the match director's discretion. So
Yeah,
it is what
that's
it
the
is.
thing. It always is. And that's why I don't bother offering Revolver because I want it to die. You can bring a revolver, but it better be on the production list or welcome to open or something. So
Well, well, what about just hosting a match just like the good old days? We'll only have open and everyone shoots the same division. That way, overall will matter.
uh-huh. Oh, you are a shit disturber, and I like it. That's
I
funny.
can be sometimes.
Um, my next 2 matches, I'm doing something a little different. This weekend, I'm observing a student who's completing his instructor requirements to become a black belt instructor, and I'm out of 9 mil. So I'm going to be rolling some Fat 45s down there this weekend. So I'll be shooting Classic Major this weekend, and I was going to shoot Classic Major next weekend too, but it looks like I'm going to rock a production optics gun for the last outdoor match of the year just for fun.
That'd be cool.
So yeah, why not?
I've been curious about production optics.
You a little bi curious? Well, like somebody told me, we're too young for production optics, so smarten up.
I
What, what
like
kind of
that.
gun?
Oh, FNS long slide, of course.
Oh, you got one of those rear dovetail sight
Yep,
mounts?
yep, yeah. So give that a go. Cool. Anything else, Wes?
No,
All right.
It's
Been quiet.
been quiet.
Cool. All right. Except for that thing you're here to talk about, but we'll get to that in a minute. We're going to jump into upcoming events. There are some level 2 matches happening around New Brunswick. The first one's this weekend, but it's sold out, so never mind. The next one that you could sign up for is a level 2 match at the Thomaston Corner Range in New Brunswick. That's near Fredericton. That's October 12th, and you can find that on Practice Score. Then the last outdoor New Brunswick match of the season will take place in the Miramichi, and that'll be on October 13th. Gallon and I will be there for that. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to drive down to Fredericton on Friday. We're actually going to help build the match because, well, let's put it this way. If Larry was a horse, we'd send him to La Page. He's all broken up and needs to be put down. So he was going to cancel his match, but as Mark Manderson put it, not on our watch. We won't let him cancel. We're going to go down and build his match for him and help him run it. So we'll be down there Friday night setting that up. We'll be shooting a level 2 match on Saturday, then probably getting drunk at Gallant's or at Filthy's, and then the next morning driving to the Miramichi to shoot their last match. And this last thing I can take out of there because my class is now sold out. So
Your black badge or for
no, my the Frelatte class I'm putting on is she all filled up. So that brings us to the news. Adriel, you got an item there about Bullseye London?
Yeah, they this is kind of a sad news here, but it looks like they've got their range on pause pending election results, which I expect we're going to see some more announcements kind of like that because why invest in something when the government's just going to take it away?
Yeah, I was hoping to see everybody kind of carry on as business as usual, but depending on the level of investment, it might make sense to
hang on a bit. Like I was talking to some guys about, and they were saying like, oh, should I get a non-restricted? Should I get a restricted? Should I get any of this stuff? And I am not going to get any accessories. Because while I think that if they're going to do a gun buyback and they buy some guns, fantastic. But I've got an extra barrel. I've got extra red dots. I've got extra grips, extra stocks. I don't think they're going to pay me anything for that stuff.
No. If they want AR-15s, my AR-15s will be converted to receivers only, registered accordingly, and that's all they're going to get.
Yes, and that's the. I think if you've got enough, the problem is I have too many accessories, and to do that for myself, I would, I'd lose a pile of money if I did that. So I'm just not buying any accessories until after the election.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, because we don't have a definition yet of this whole. It may be more than ARs, right? It may be assault rifles.
It will be more than ARs,
right? So
like the AR in we will ban assault weapons like AR-15s is a PR ploy. They are going to include more firearms. It's just a matter of which ones, and I don't think we'll know until the election is over.
Yeah. So Mike from Canmore, with all his oil money, is going to start buying everyone's non-restricted guns here soon.
Well, I mean, I go duck hunting a lot with all my non-restricted guns, and they fall out of boats all the time.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, happens. It's one of the realities. But so Bullseye London, they're not going to do their range, and I wouldn't put $1 million into, or however many millions they're putting into range development when the specter of complete eradication is on the horizon.
Yeah.
Let's see here. What else we got? One Stalls has a sale October 1st to 5th. Let's see, what was this anyways? Oh yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff they have on sale right now. Some really good prices. They've got the X95 for $2,099. That's the 9mm version.
Yep.
So that's kind of neat. All reloading supplies 20% off. They got Mossberg Maverick 88s for $199.
Holy smokes! Really?
Mm-hmm.
What a great way to get into a reliable, affordable pump action shotgun.
Yeah. And they've got the Simmons 4 to 32 rifle scopes, the rimfire ones, for $29 instead of about $50.
Wow.
So if you have like a, if you want to outfit a cheap 22, that's one way of doing it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sig Sauer pistols, 20% off. Wow.
Yeah, they got some good stuff in there.
The Savage Arms rifles, the prices are too low to advertise.
Which probably means that like there's some manufacturer pricing that they have to obey, except for in store they can probably do something different. So
Yep.
it's probably what they're doing.
They've got Marlin 1894's stainless ones for a couple $100 off. Ooh, lower parts kit. I need a lower parts kit. I need one to finish my modern sporter. $80.
$80 is good for a lower parts kit.
Hell yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll be visiting Monstalls right now. I still can't, but $200 for a Maverick, which is basically a Mossberg 500. $200 for a pump action 12 gauge. Come on, crazy.
Yeah, great price.
Mm-hmm.
What else we got here? SFRC is selling out some of their demo firearms and demo products. So, for example, they've got. You know what? I can put it on the screen for everyone else to see. Not you guys, though.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Demo Axor arms, so like a Typhoon-ish kind of a shotgun. They've got 4.575. They've got a BCL 102 demo for $12.50. That's a good price. BCL 102, but still good price. They've got a Shadow 2 for $1,200, one of the Urban Gray ones. That's a great deal. And a whole bunch of other stuff. So some really decent prices over there as well. Ooh, a Zev OZ9 for $2,000. There's a Sig P320 with a Romeo 1 optic on it. That's decent. $950. Yeah, some good prices.
Not bad at all.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I wonder if I shouldn't just get the ultimate repair kit instead. Because, like, I don't need a pistol grip. I don't need a trigger guard. I don't need a trigger. Right? I just need. And I already have some. Yeah, look, they got a pin kit for $30. All the pins. And then a spring kit for $20. So that's. Well. I don't know what to do. I suppose I could always get the lower parts kit and have spares of stuff, right? But I don't need it.
Start new builds.
Start a new build. Yeah.
That's what happens. Right? Actually, yeah, I could put the trigger kit in one of my other AR lowers. Yeah. You know what? I should buy 3. I should buy 3 of these parts kits. One for each lower and then one for the modern sporter. Or I should wait till after the election. That's what
Don't let them win.
Might want to do. Yeah, you're just letting them win.
Yeah.
Might as well vote Liberal, Trevor.
Oh, that's them. I'm going to cut you. Now the when I go to the website, it comes up as $110. It doesn't show that sale price. I have to call, I guess.
Yeah.
All read-ons plus 20% off. Anyway, enough of that. Are we ready to go into our main topic?
I think so.
All right. So, Wes, you're coming on tonight to talk to us about desert brutality. So I kind of got a little confused yesterday and started watching the bloke on the range and in-range TV videos on the Finnish brutality. It's like,
yeah,
Wes was there? I don't think Wes was there. I was like 2 videos in before I realized Wes wasn't at this match. So, Wes, where were you? Where did Desert Brutality take place? What kind of match was it? And how was it?
So, Desert Brutality 2019 was the second annual, basically championships of these 2-gun action challenge matches that Ian and Carl from InRange TV host.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, I believe it was beginning of January of this year. and it was in St. George, Utah, at the SUPS range. And it was the first year. Last year was in another range. I don't remember which one, but the first year being at SUPS.
The SUPS range is the one that Nelson runs, right?
Yeah, Ken Nelson and Brian Nelson and the Tactical Performance Center all over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was kind of cool because that's kind of like Disneyland, or my version of Disneyland. Anyway, that's kind of where all the greats shoot, and they've hosted a lot of national USPSA events there. So it was kind of cool to set foot on that range. But as for the match itself, it was a multi-gun match. It was scored time plus penalties, so not points. And that really came to bite my bottom on a couple stages anyway.
Because of penalties?
Yeah, the thing I don't really like about the time plus matches is if you really screw up a stage, you're carrying that with you the whole match.
Mm-hmm.
In points matches, they kind of can dissolve a little bit, but oh well, that's the way it was. But it was 8 stages. It wasn't heavy round count. I think it was like 150-ish rifle and about 60-ish pistol on paper, and yeah, it was good. It was a pretty physical match. What did we start with? The first stage we started with was it was called the Caserta Drill hard mode. I don't know if anyone is familiar with in-range TV. They probably know what the Caserta Drill is, but it was basically running for 50 yards, but not just running. You throw a kettlebell, a 65-pound kettlebell, if I remember correctly,
Whoa.
as far as you can, and then you can only run to the kettlebell. Then you have to go prone, and you need one hit on the bottom plate of a spinner target with a rifle, and then you stand up again and throw it as far as you can again.
So, how do you feel about that? Like, do you think that's enjoyable? Do you think it's testing any skill, or do you think it's hard for the sake of being hard? Well, like, what's your opinion on that kind of thing?
The theme I kind of got from this match was it was more about the physical with some shooting involved. It was kind of like CrossFit with some shooting involved. I think it's basically a test of a person's physical fitness rather than marksmanship, I guess.
Right.
So, I mean, it took me. I got the practice score stuff up just so I have something to refer to. But on that specific stage, I was like 53rd out of 168 competitors. So just kind of like upper third, I guess. But I did it in 137 seconds.
Well, that's better than 500 and some, Adriel. Wow.
But that was just that one stage. The top guy did it in 46.
That's one stage.
That's one stage.
That's one stage.
Yeah, this is the kind of match I won't go to for sure.
Yeah, and it was called the Caserta Drill hard mode, specifically because at the end of the 50 yards, so once you got the kettlebell over the 50-yard fault line, you had to run to a small, basically like a foxhole, and you shot the rifle spinner until it spun, which was another 50 yards away. But you could shoot it from the prone, which it wasn't so bad, but you're huffing and puffing so frickin' bad. A lot of people didn't complete the stage because there was a timeout, but at least I got through it.
Yeah, but I mean, can you imagine if getting through it is good enough? Well, I didn't time out.
Yeah.
You got to do
I
it though
went
on a stage like that. You have to put a par time in because you can't have people taking 4 minutes to huff and puff their way through a stage like that. Especially a match like that, the expectation is you're gonna see some stuff, right? And you can't go there and not be fit and expect to do well.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
Um, oh, go ahead.
well, I get the physical, right? To try and add something, but as I've said many times, when it becomes more about the physical than the shooting, I'm not interested. That Caserta Drill, okay, sure, but make it 25 pounds.
We've
It
done it
doesn't,
with I can't remember if our kettlebell was 30 or 35 pounds, something like that. But we've done that drill just over a short distance, like 10 or 15 yards, which you can do. I think most people did it with like 3 throws. But
Oh,
hmm.
yeah.
I don't even know how many throws it took me, but it felt like I was in pure agony after about the second throw.
Well, what'd you say it was
Pure
again? 60
agony.
pounds?
It was about I believe it was 65 pounds, and we had to
Oh
do it from
man,
50 yards. It was on
that's
a
just too much.
100-yard bay, and you had to go halfway down the bay, and then once you got down there, it was a 50-yard spinner. So,
Yeah, that's just too much. That's just like that is a huge weight to throw around.
oh, it's crazy. Well, I've never thrown a kettlebell before, let alone a 65-pound one. So,
Right? So, okay, what were some of the other highlights?
well, so the next stage was called math class. Each stage was kind of different. So the next stage was called math class, and it started you out. You were standing in front of a table with your rifle unloaded, slung on your back, and I believe your pistol was unloaded as well. So on the buzzer, on the table, there was some random playing cards, and you flipped it over, and based on the number that you overturned, it was like 1, 3, or 5. Multiples of either 1, 3, or 5 were what you were supposed to engage. So the targets, the paper targets, had numbers written on the head boxes, and they were divisible by either 1, 3, or 5. So you flipped this card over, you crawled under this trench, under this covered trench with like I think it was like a 50-pound fake 30 caliber machine gun. So you
Hmm.
wiggled your way through this trench,
Yeah.
and then you loaded your rifle under this platform, and you looked at all the paper targets, and you go, oh, that one's divisible by 3 if you pick 3, and that one, and that one, and that one. And then you had to unload your rifle, at which point it was just a stick, so you could point it anywhere, so you throw it back over your back, and you pick up that machine gun thing again, and you run to the next bay with this big heavy metal chunk of whatever, and you throw it in the back of a car. And when you get to the car, you have to climb in the passenger side window. You can't open the door. You have to climb in through the window. You can draw your pistol, load it, and then you engage the next set of paper targets that are divisible by the number that you picked up at the table. So you have to remember these numbers, right? It's crazy. Because you're just huffing and puffing again. And this one was a bit of a physical challenge and a lot of a mental challenge. So just like a memory game. So
Sounds challenging. Sounds like they're like I wouldn't say it's well, there is a little element of luck there because if you get the one, I guess everything's divisible by one, right?
was it? It might have been. Oh, it might have been 3, 3, 5, and 7.
Oh,
I
okay.
know that they had
Yeah.
specific targets. There was like 4 targets at each station that were divisible by those numbers,
Hmm.
right? So, um,
Cool.
it was crazy. I thought that stage was obviously the hardest to memorize because by the time you get that big heavy chunk of metal into that trunk of that car, you're just like, I was super gassed. And then you have to remember to load your pistol, make sure you don't do anything unsafe with it as you're getting in the car, because a lot of people have not race holsters, they were banned, but a lot of people don't have retention on their holsters because they're
Mm.
3-gunners, right? And
Yeah.
you just gotta make sure you don't catch it on the door of the car and all that stuff.
Happened to me. Yep.
Yeah. Um, then the next stage we shot 4 stages a day. The next stage we shot was called I'll Bomb Tokyo Myself. That was probably my favorite stage of the whole match. They have like a fake plywood airplane fuselage, and on the buzzer you get up out of a chair from like the tail position, and you load your rifle, and through the ports on either side of the fuselage, they just had a bunch of paper hoser targets. Like you could reach out and touch them; they're so close.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go to the front of the fuselage where they had kind of a top turret mount, and you climb up the stairs, and there's a bunch of hoser targets right at the front, and you hose all those. Then you unload and show clear. You run outside of the fuselage, and you pick up what looks to be like a big, like it's a 6 foot steel air tank or something, or metal air tank.
The
So you have to
bomb.
hoist that. Yeah, it was painted like a bomb. And you have to hoist that on your shoulder, and you have to run to the next bay, drop it in a specific hula hoop, and then you have to climb up on wooden planks and shoot steel targets with your pistol from these wooden planks without touching the ground. So that one was kind of cool. Mainly because I'm more of a hoser than anything else.
Yeah. Gotta go fast.
Go
What
ahead.
was it like getting down there with the firearms? How did you travel?
Oh, we flew.
Okay.
So flew out of Regina. When you're flying with firearms, make sure you have a hard case, and it has to be locked with padlocks to the point where you can't pry open the case and stick a finger in. If all the latches on the case are undone, the padlock should be able to still hold it
This
closed.
this sounds like someone's making something up. Who told you this?
I watched a bunch of basically how to fly with guns on YouTube. So that those cheap Plano cases, apparently if you undo the latches, even though they're padlocked, you can pry up a corner and you can reach inside still and touch the gun. So
Mm-hmm.
just I don't know if it's a specific rule, but they said just to be safe, you want something like a Pelican case
No.
or something that.
You mean a Nanook. You got to fly with a Nanook is what you're trying to say.
Correct. Yeah.
Yes, that's
And
what
the
I thought.
nut case, yeah.
Yeah.
But I had a case like that. We flew out of Regina to Calgary, and then you know what? It's not so bad as long as you have your paperwork. It is not really bad at all flying with firearms. The only thing that's really a pain is the extra fees they tack on.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They charge you extra money just because they can't. Oh, it's a gun? No, it's golf clubs. No, it's a gun. So it's magically $100 more.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be for some special kind of treatment uh, that it gets at the airport, but I've never had one that didn't just come out on the regular baggage carousel. I guess they're supposed to have some security officer like hand them to you, or I'm
Mine
told.
always go through oversize coming and going, but yeah.
Yeah, I've had them just come out on the carousel, and
Free guns. Whoever wants to grab them.
yeah. Well, and that's just it. There was no one at the carousel. Can I see some ID or some paperwork? You know, like your little declaration that this bag has firearms in it. No. Just make sure you're standing there before someone else takes it. Make sure you put a lot of band stickers on it so they think maybe it's just like,
A guitar.
music equipment.
Yeah.
But I cross into the States quite regularly. I live like Regina. We're only over an hour from the border, so there's all these little border towns that we go shoot matches in. So I've never really been hassled going across the border. Just get your Form 6.
Yeah, I think
Cool.
driving is easier than flying for sure.
What do you do for
Yeah.
mags?
So when we flew in and out of Vegas, and when we landed, we didn't take any magazines or ammunition with us, just because rifle ammo is heavy. You can only take like 11 pounds. So what we did is we flew into Vegas. We went to Ventura Munitions, and we bought enough magazines and ammunition just in the store for the match.
Mm-hmm.
So, which
Wow.
with the American magazines, they're so big, you only need like one or two of them. And when you're all running the same ammunition, you don't even have to worry about. You just top them up after your buddy goes. So, and magazines are cheap. That's why we did it. Is rather than screw around with drilling out a rivet or whatever. We just paid the $15 for each PMag, and away we
Yeah.
went.
Yeah, it's peanuts. It's peanuts.
With guys running CZs are a little bit more, um, it was a little bit more expensive for their mags, but I just picked up the Magpul Glock PMags.
Yeah.
I think they were cheap too, and you can get 21 rounders, you can get 27 rounders. The Magpul mags are just stupid cheap, right?
And they work.
And they work.
Right on. Cool. All right, Wes, anything else to share with us about that match? What
Uh,
about Carl and Ian? Did you see them and talk to them and stuff?
I did see both of them. I shook their hands. Uh, as you can expect, they had a gaggle of people around them at all times. There was a bunch of fans all the time around them. So I did see them. I did shake their hand. Told them I was from Canada. They were appreciative to meet us and to see us.
Nice.
I did beat both of them. So
Even
Nice.
better.
But
Oh, that's
were they
awesome.
shooting it with like a Madsen
Yeah.
and like a broken old 1911?
Well, there's that, right?
yeah. So I have there's a caveat to that. Yes. So I was basically shooting in a division called Scout, which is basically your TAC Ops division minus the shotgun.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a 1-6 on my rifle and a Glock 34 and that was kind of done up. But they were shooting them in classic division. So I think Carl was shooting it with a iron-sighted AK and a Tokarev, if I remember correctly. and Ian was shooting it with one of those Brownells reproduction, like
Oh, the BRN
M16.
180.
Oh,
Not the
yeah.
180s, the Vietnam area, like M16,
Ah,
and and I believe a 1911. Like, so they're both in period Vietnam gear, I could say. And here I'm shooting the gamiest stuff that I could bring. So and I only beat Carl by like one or two positions. So
it's close.
it
Yeah.
was close. I couldn't hook up with the pistol. I don't know. They had one brutal pistol stage. It was all steel, all little steel, like stars and Polish plate racks, and I just I folded like a cheap suit on that one.
Cool. Right on. All right. Well, let's move into the listener feedback. The YouTube version. We've got Jeremy commenting on some of the things about the match that he was at. We were in the same squad. Um, he talked about the occlusive chest seal is really bad, bandage, clotting agent, and a couple of soft cat tourniquets plus a normal FA stuff.
Just
And
a
you're
leather
good to
belt for the
go.
tournament. Just a
Yeah.
regular leather belt in there, I think is what Jeremy said, right?
Yep. Tie a rope
Yeah.
around it and bite down on a stick.
Mm.
Mm,
And
mm.
a little flask of whiskey for your painkiller.
That's right.
And top it up
Israelis.
frequently. Don't forget to keep topping it up.
Israelis is an Israeli bandage are also used for tourniquets. He said he was talking about those plates being light and being forward falling. He didn't have such a good match. He thinks that George had been shooting since '95. Oh, and the match we were not only were we static, we were all shooting from inside a box as well.
Mm-hmm.
Doo, doo, doo. Yills says, "Do you think the 9mm holes were blowing out 223?" I don't know what that means. Maybe
Were you guys
some of
shooting
the
the same targets with the
sometimes.
9mm
Yep.
as a 223? Oh, well, that's possible.
Sometimes.
Yep.
Yeah. We had one guy shooting 9mm, and he was shooting. Oh yeah, this dude Travis, young guy, was shooting a Robinson Armament XCRL in
Mm-hmm.
7.62 by 39, using the Robinson Armament pistol XCR mags,
Mm-hmm.
the 10-round pistol mags, and it ran like a champ. I'd never had a single stoppage. I had a stoppage. Marcel had a stoppage. Both times, I think, were ammo related. Yeah, Marcel had to mortar the gun. But
Fun
this,
stuff.
I had an AR in 7.62 by 39, and I couldn't get the mags to work right. The ammo wouldn't feed in the mags at all. But I didn't have the lacquer case stuff. So this was all copper wash case and bullet, and it ran great for me. It was really
And
nice to see that
this
thing going.
this was a Robinson Arms XCR, and I think you were talking about what did you have for your 7.62 by 39? Was it an NEA?
Yeah. Um, what
I
else?
think that's why his ran.
Maybe. Um, I know we had newly manufactured Dominion Arms ammo that wasn't lacquered and it would drag in the mag. If we had lacquer cases, it would run okay. But
Yeah.
you're still mostly right. One guy's asking, would it just would it be just all restricted rifles? And that's about whether or not they're going to get rid of ARs, restricted rifles, or all semi-automatic box fed.
They
Chances
said
are they're going to
assault rifles, so I take that to mean frickin' everything because they aren't known for
using the term
nuance.
correctly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they actually said semi-automatic assault rifles,
yeah,
which is not a thing.
that's
So
right. It's not a thing.
it's not
Just
even
like
it's not even the not a thing that they made up recently because they just made up assault weapons recently, and
yep,
that's not a thing. Assault rifles is a thing.
they're
Semi-automatic
going to
assault
ban.
rifles is not a thing. That's
Yeah,
not a
but
thing. That's anything.
remember, they're going to ban guns that are already banned. Rod just smacked a reporter upside their head. The reporter asked Rod at one of the press conferences now that they're on the integrity tour.
Mm-hmm.
So at the press conference, he told the mayors they would have the power to ban guns within their municipalities, but the mayors want handguns banned nationally. What do you think of that? And Rod said, "Well, they already are, and the government can't enforce that ban. So you tell me how banning me from having them is going to fix anything when they're already banned and they can't enforce it. You need a license to own a gun in this country, therefore making guns banned." And the reporter all of a sudden stopped asking questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, on to well, there is no on to because there is no emails this week, or is there? And we didn't put it in. Which is it, Adriel?
I don't put them in.
See, Kelly's not here, and none of us picked up the slack for her.
That's correct. That's
That's
exactly what happened.
bad
Yeah.
co-host. So,
I just expect things to happen, and I don't pay attention, and then we get to the time when they're supposed to happen, and they're not, and it's disorienting and weird.
all right, shut up. There's nothing there, so that's why there's nothing in there. But if there was something there, it would have been sponsored by Armory DC Gunsmith. Armory DC Gunsmith is a full-service gunsmith who specializes in firearm refinishing. He offers hot bluing, parkerizing, Cerakote finishes, as well as wood finishing. Check out his online inventory of new and used guns, firearms, accessories, optics, and more at dcgunsmith.ca. And we just got a huge whack of Vortex in stock. Some discontinued Vortex models
Ooh,
that are at huge discounts. We got a razor in there, like a first gen razor, new, just been sitting around somewhere, and it's a discontinued model, but still under warranty and all that stuff. It's a brand new scope,
lifetime warranty,
huge discount. Yeah. So,
but super duper heavy. Those first gen razors are just
oh no, it's not a big one.
monster. What's
It's
that?
like Diamondback size.
Oh,
It's not like the big huge razor. It's yeah.
oh,
It's a little
I'm
bit
thinking of
smaller.
the Razor HD
Yeah, those big ones. So,
6 to 24, 6 to 25, whatever that one is. That
yep.
one is 48 ounces. That is
Jeebus.
a huge heavy scope.
Oh man, my Viper PST Gen 2 doesn't weigh that much. So,
No.
um, all right. If you want to send an email next week, you can do so by sending it to slamfireradio@gmail.com. And shoutouts, I've got one here to the organizers of the Miramichi ORPS match. I actually reconnected with an old university acquaintance, someone who used to, we both ran in the rugby circles. I think he played. I made the team, but the night before the first match, I took acid and drank a whole lot of beer and then didn't wake up for the match the next day. So that was the end of my rugby career. But anyway, yeah, I recognized him almost right away. Matt Travers. Where'd you go to school? You know Kevin Rigby? Oh yeah, and then the floodgates of memories opened, right? So, and to the dude who gave me this, check this out. He is
Oh,
working
that's cool.
with, yeah, so it's like, what is that?
22s in epoxy.
Yeah, epoxy, that clear epoxy. So he's making beer coasters or coasters filled with deactivated 22 ammo and some brass casings and 22 bullets.
Very cool.
Pulled apart, put back together, and then sealed in epoxy to make a really cool coaster. So I unfortunately don't remember his name, which is kind of rude of me, but he took his medal from the last match before we got there to take it away from him and sealed in epoxy. So, oh yeah, back to that match. So Alex won overall because that's the thing that we're counting in ORPS as well, Wes. We just want to know who won the match. We don't care about open. We don't care about production. Who won overall? So
Matters.
yeah, Alex C.
It only matters if production wins. If production
And it
wins
did.
against the open, yeah.
Not only did
Oh,
production win, he won with a bolt and a scope that looks like you've got glaucoma when you look through it. So
Mm,
yeah, with a monstrous 370 score. Um, so he got first in production, and
what rifle was he
uh,
running?
it's a Savage Mark II, I think. I mean, it's in a chassis. No, it's
He's
not in a
got the
chassis because
cheapest
he's in
bolt action
production.
rifle
Yeah,
and
and a
some.
bad scope. Dude can shoot, man.
Oh
Three
man,
370 Adriel. It's
yeah,
crazy.
that's
Gallon got second in production. I got first in open, and Joey got second in open. And then the other guys were local guys. So, yep, we done good. But anyway, shout out to those guys for putting on an awesome match. We had a lot of fun, and unfortunately, my ORPS is done for the season because I've got a IPSC event class match course every weekend and a 3-gun in the month of October. So I don't even get to go hunting in October. And then November, I'll do whatever hunting I can. And then December, we'll be doing indoor stuff. So that's it. No more ORPS for me until the spring. Any, you got some shout outs there, Adriel?
yeah. Just to the Chaz people for organizing that fantastic ladies event. It was really well done. I mostly helped out with the rimfire there, and everything ran really well, and everyone knew what they needed to do, and people just stepped up and did all the stuff. So it was awesome.
Nice. Wes, you got any shout outs you want to throw out there before we say goodnight?
I'll just do a shout out to all the Saskatchewan IPSC people. Just had fun last weekend and looking forward to the next one.
Nice. Cool. All right. And don't hang up when we end the call because I got a couple of questions for you about some stuff.
All right.
Patreonies. We got a new Patreonie this week. Eric Dell signed up for $5 a month through our Patreon, which is really important because
Did he
the
send an email
he
with his
did send an
address?
email.
Oh,
Yes, he
good.
did.
Okay.
Yep. So you can take care of that because he's taking care of us. He's keeping the jet fueled, which is really important to help get us to all these baller events, right? We don't travel coach here in Slamfire, so without your Patreon dollars, we'd have to travel like hobos. So if you would like to make sure that Adriel can sit in first class, you can become a Patreon by going to www.patreon.com/slamfire radio and yeah, sign up. You get some swag and you get some bonus content once a month. We put out a bonus episode of which you are the producer, director, and star. So if you are a Patreon, expect an email or Facebook message from me soon, reaching out to you, asking you to come on to do a show with us.
Better yet, if you're a Patreon, reach out to Trevor and pitch your idea.
Yeah, that would be so much better. Seriously. If you're a Patreon and you want your 15 minutes, send me a Facebook message or an email and let's get you on the air. You can also show your support for us by visiting our website and then clicking on the links for Cabela's. So you're going to Cabela's anyway, just go there through our website and we will get a kickback. Join one of our national firearms associations, such as CCFR. Check us out on Gun Owners of Canada and like us on Facebook so that we can put an orphanage in its place. We're at 2,244, and we'd like more than that because we feel that we are better than homeless children. I think that's a good place to end.